Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to. It's a Tuesday, so I know we're doing something, but I can't remember what we call the thing that we do. Kate, can you help me?
Alex, I'm so glad I'm here. Because I can tell you that it is the NXT post show, the go home to Stand and Deliver.
Yep.
For this is April 15th, tax day, people. Get your taxes stamped, approved, turbo-taxed, whatever. But that's what we're doing. So get in your super chats and your humper chats at humperchats.com. Leave a thumbs up on this video as well. Guys, you're going to want to subscribe, okay? And we're going to do our impression of content creators later. And it's funny because technically we are content creators, but we try not to be the smash that like button content creators. But we're going to tell you to smash that like button. And we're also going to tell you to subscribe. We are now well over 150,000 subscribers. So thank you so much. We've had a really nice surge of late. And man, the past couple weeks, I was like, you should subscribe because they're in Europe and all of our post-show times are different and weird. So you're going to want to be notified. Now I'm telling you, WrestleMania weekend, you're going to want to be notified because there's just so much stuff going on. We have a loaded weekend coming up for you. Tomorrow, you have a really great Dynamite to look forward to, which will be really fun. Athena versus Mercedes. That's going to be Alex and Sean. Thursday, Cresta and SP3 are doing a collision review, which will be a really, really fun duo. Those are two of the most joyful, charismatic people in the world doing your collision review. Friday, you'll have your SmackDown review. Sean's going to join us for a little bit of that as well. Saturday and Sunday, nights 1 and 2 of WrestleMania, it's going to be Sean and Jeff Hawkins. But these Looney Tunes will be behind the paywall for you, having a great time. Monday, Raw After Mania, Andrew Baydala is going to be joining Sean. They have a hell of a time when the two of them are together. Both great fellas. And Alex and I will also be reviewing Raw After Mania. So in addition to all of that, Stand and Deliver. Alex and I will be on the main floor. So all of those things are going on this weekend, and you're going to want to be subscribed because you are going to want to know when the heck all those shows are going on. We got a lot going on over here. So do subscribe. FightfulSelect.com as well. There's going to be a ton of scoops this weekend. That's all I can promise you. I'm not going to say this, that, and the other. There's going to be a lot of scoops this weekend. Already on our free tier, there's been a ton of stuff, information about the fact that Brock Lesnar is not being considered for a return, despite the name drop that came the other day. I know, a shocker. Some interesting information on Beyond Wrestling and their relationship with AEW being a little weird. As well as some additional notes that went up there, stuff about Maxine and Natalia, just some good stuff on the free tier. That's also where we keep injury news and things that are bigger than wrestling. Some of the European updates go up there as well for people that are interested in that. But another news day over there, including that Chelsea Green is not scheduled for WrestleMania, which stinks. And that the tag gauntlet was cut for time on the fly, which is not great. And we're going to get into it, but I have been saying for a little bit, and I think everybody has universally felt, taking the tag titles on the women's side away from NXT was just dirty work. And after tonight, it feels like even worse because we're going to have a tag triple threat fighting over nothing. Well, no, sorry, there are stakes on that. It's hard to keep all these multi-person matches straight. So we're going to get into all of that and more. But Alex, this is the part where we tell people what to do for puns. I don't know.
They're not in Vegas yet, so I was like, we would save Vegas puns for our Stand and Deliver show. Is anybody going to be awake to send in puns for the Stand and Deliver show, or will they all be asleep?
We're going to be so tired.
We're going to be so tired, guys.
We could. What if we did puns that involve a color for Chelsea Green? Because she deserves it. Colorful puns.
In honor of Chelsea Green. Color puns.
There you go.
But, oh no, if we do that, then Triple H won't be able to see them. Was that? Should I not have said that?
No, I'm just gonna laugh and not say anything. That's all.
Good. All right, fantastic. So okay. Let's that's me being I can't be trusted. So yeah, no, do color puns. Do color puns. In spite of Triple H, do color puns.
I'm in support of Chelsea Green.
Yeah, yes.
Because she should be on the card. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. HBK will be able to read them to him. You know what I mean? Just so he doesn't feel left out. He won't be able to see them himself, but like he can hear them if somebody else reads them to him. So it'll be fine. Great. Color puns. And then get your Vegas ones. Write them down somewhere in your notes app on your phone or in a little notebook and come prepared to send them in for the matinee review of Stand
and Deliver.
Thank you. We're gonna do one of those too.
I miss Pretty Deadly saying that.
Yeah, me too. It's fine. They should just be the hosts of Stand and Deliver every year. This was a better go home show than last night for Raw.
By a lot, actually.
You know, matches were set tonight, as opposed to being set weeks ago and then built terribly. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's actually a good thing to set the matches right before, so you don't have weeks of content to write and you're bad at that, because then the matches suffer.
And we kind of knew where they were heading, right? So this has been a better build, I would say, between the MSG show and now. Like they've done a good job of putting the handwriting on the wall and solidifying things. The only thing that I don't like about NXT and on go homes, and I don't even think it's something that they shouldn't do, but for me as someone that watches every week, is the content that caters to people who are tuning in for the first time. Yeah. Like as a show, they should probably do that. But as a viewer that watches every week, I'm like,
yeah,
I don't need this is Stephanie Vacura. I'm like, I know who she is. Like those kinds of pieces of content are probably a very good idea realistically, because there are probably people that are checking out this show to lead to the PLE. But I just already know who these people are. So it's redundant for me.
And I thought that let's just talk about the vignettes right now, because they did the same. This is a problem.
Vignette.
Thank you. Vignettes. It's a problem when you have the same basic people, the same basic staff writing for all of the shows, because I don't know if a sorority, when all the girls' cycles sync up. Is it the same thing in a writer's room where all their brains sync up and they're just spitting out the same ideas over and over again? Is that what it is? I don't know. But anyway, this the same friggin' for the 3 women in the women's title match on Raw last night. They did not appear on the show. They are in vignettes last night. The same exact thing for the women's world title on NXT tonight. They didn't appear on the show, none of them, for vignettes. And I'm like, does anybody check with each other, or do you hey, it almost feels like they are on purpose doing this. Hey guys, we're all in agreement, right? This week, every show is going to do a bunch of vignettes for the ladies, right? Yeah, we're all in agreement. We all got the memo.
Wait, triple threat women's match? Yeah.
It just feels it feels that way. These were really good. I thought they were better than last night. Maybe because we know more about Bianca and Rhea and Io and their story as well, of that match. This one was really great because I think there are a lot of people who watch WWE who don't have any clue of who Jordynne Grace was before the transformation.
Sure. Yeah.
Because because when I started watching TNA for Fightful, she was a different person physically than she is now. And I remember the first time, because I took years off of watching the product because I wasn't being paid to do so. And then when I saw clips of her again, I was like, holy crap, look at Jordynne Grace. My God. And so I think that's a major part of her journey.
Yes,
and I love that there's a bunch of authentically, and there's a major, and these are people who watch this show who have no clue about who she was before, who would be really interested by that. Like, there's a reason why. I mean, I'm not saying it's a good reason necessarily, but there's a reason why body transformation reality shows get giant ratings.
Sure.
People get hooked by that kind of stuff. So this is a thing that will let you into who she is and the amount of self-discipline that it takes to do that what she did, and all everything else about it, her whole history, and the fact that she's been a champion everywhere and all that stuff, her reasons for this. The Jada Parker piece, like that was a level of letting you see who she is on the inside, letting you see her emotional state when she thinks about where she's come from, who she has had to leave behind in order to be here, who she wishes was still here to watch her do this. This felt entirely authentic in this admittedly edited together piece. You know what I mean? Rather than some of the monologues we've seen in the ring, where people are like, hey, I know I've presented nothing but pure badass up until this point, but I'm going to tell you the most horrible part of my life in a 2-minute monologue and then start to cry, and you will be entirely unnerved by this. And it never quite works with a lot of... I thought it worked with Jada Parker here, talking about her uncle and how he was the one who kept her happy in bad times, and now he's gone. And she will do this to honor him. I thought that was great. I thought her whole upbringing is like she was the son. She was the daughter of a football coach who wouldn't let her play football. So she was like, you know what? I'm going to be the biggest badass in the soccer field. And like she took all that tough nose stuff from that to the soccer field to here. This is a really well done piece to let us know who she is when they have not done that much at all with her. And I thought that was really well done too.
If I'm choppy, let me know, chat.
You're good.
Because you're a little...
As far as I know.
Okay, you were a little choppy to me, so I just always assume it's my internet.
Okay. I mean,
I just always assume it's me.
Yeah.
My only thing, and it's pretty nitpicky, but Jada's kind of felt like it was 3 promos in one a little bit, where it was like,
fair enough.
My dad wouldn't let me do this, so I became tough. And also I'm extremely vulnerable because of my uncle. Like it just seemed like here's your life story in a minute and a half, go a little bit, but I thought it was well delivered, and I thought they did a good job connecting everything about her experience to who she is now. I just kind of felt like it was all smushed together. But these ones, I think, were well done. You're right in that there's more of a discovery aspect for most viewers with these particular performers, just by nature of the fact that this is NXT, or people came from other promotions and things like that. So I appreciated the insight that they created with them, and they were well done. There were just also so many things that I was like kind of already knew about a few of them. But if I was newer to the product, or not somebody that yapped about wrestling most nights a week, I would see these and be intrigued, which is the point of them, right? So I think they did a solid job with it. It just wasn't content that I necessarily needed to see, because I've seen it so much. Most people are not us. Most people are are not doing this to the degree that we do.
And there was, I'll talk about the Stephanie one was very good, of her going back to Chile and that welcome that she gets, and how she's a huge celebrity there, and that was really interesting, because it's always kind of cool to watch film of these international wrestlers going home, and that how much it means to their hometown, homeland, that they are this. But the Julia one I thought was an interesting little piece of retconning that I don't mind so much, because you gotta explain somehow where she's been.
Sure.
Without, if you don't want to tell us, we thought she might need surgery, but it turned out she didn't, and so she's back sooner than we thought she would be. If you don't want to tell us that, I understand why you don't want to tell us that. But I also thought it was kind of funny that she was saying, I kept waiting for her to give me a rematch.
Yeah.
Oh, Julia, sweetheart, did nobody tell you that's how that works here? You kick in a door and you demand one. That's the WWE way. If you want a rematch, you don't sit there and wait for the person who beat you for your title to like grant you one. You have to go attack them after they have during a promo that they're having.
Preferably in a parking lot.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're in NXT, it's in a parking lot. I mean, I feel like somebody needed to hold her hand and kind of lead her through this. But all jokes aside, her being like, "Yeah, did you think we were done? We weren't done. Like, I wasn't like I was like, hey, may the best woman win, and then you won. You were the best woman on that night. We're gonna do this again. We're not gonna stop doing this. You know what I mean? And I liked that part of it, and I also like she compartmentalized. Jordan and Jada are the two people I have to go through to get my title back from Stephanie. I like that I'll pin either one of them. I don't care. I mean, I'm getting my title back, and I thought that was well done too for Julia. It is unfortunate the route that they had to take, that they felt they had to take to get to this point. But I think that they've handled this about as well as they could have. You really need to get, if Julia's healthy and she's cleared, you got to get her on the Stand and Deliver card. You know what I mean?
Of course.
You know, like you can't just like all things otherwise being equal. I might have just held it off until the Tuesday after, when she shows up and says, "Okay, Stephanie, you and me 1-on-1 again." As opposed to like, you know, if more people join in, the match will get better. You know what I mean? Like, because that is kind of what they did with this. But other than that, I thought these vignettes, the vignettes, the
vignettes.
I thought they actually did a very good job of setting the stage for that match, which should be excellent.
Yes. So, considering how silly, I'm sorry to use that word again. I've been using it a lot lately. I know it's strong language. Considering the very silly route that they took of having Steph vacate her title for no reason.
That part I'm less okay with. It's the women's title thing that is better. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm significantly more okay with this side of this coin that they've put out there, right? And even with the qualifiers, there's been some good things going on with that. But I do think if you said we need these competitors in this match under these circumstances, it's certainly not ideal, like Julia not having to wrestle or win or whatever. Like it's not great. But if you're saying like she has to be on Stand and Deliver, of course. So it's not the best situation, but for what they've been told to put together, they've done an all right job to get there. It's been refreshing kind of since the CW era that we've really gotten away from, for the most part, a lot of the goofy backstages, because between the vignettes and like Julia's thing today, there was a while there where everything was just wrestlelicious level silliness, like just bad. There's so much more authenticity in these things, and I think it does the performers a whole heck of a lot of good when they get to act and sound like people instead of caricatures of themselves. And I can't imagine how much more, and I genuinely can't imagine this because I don't speak well any other languages. I barely speak English well. How much more challenging that becomes when you have to translate and then do something incredibly wacky and goofy. Like, just give somebody something real to say so that they can make that translate in whichever language they're going to choose to do that. And so I agree with you. I felt like the way that these were all tied together and produced, and the way this match got set up was pretty all right. Was pretty all right.
Yeah.
You guys are killing it with the, we're not going to go into them until later because it's our main event, but you guys are killing it with some of these color puns. Thank you.
Color puns are very, very good. Very good. I just wish Triple H could see them. So Uh, we started out with all of them already in the ring for the fatal 4-way, and this is one of those things where HBK, I swear to God, he builds houses just so he has corners to back himself into. You have created a stand and deliver, right? Where all of the title matches, not the titles matches for singles championships, the world championship, the women's world championship, the women's North American championship, are all being contested in multi-person matches. Like, that is the theme of the night, it appears to be. And if you did the thing that I was certain they were going to do, which was just to throw the match out and add all 4 of these guys into a 5-pack challenge with Ricky Starks for the title, then it would have literally been triple threat, fatal 4-way, 5-pack challenge, 6-woman ladder match. You would have been able to do 3, 4, 5, 6. And it would have been this thing. You could have built, you would have, you tell me you can't picture Vic Joseph saying, it's a 3, 4, 5, 6 stand and deliver. Like, they would absolutely brand it as something. I thought for sure they were going to do that. So in a vacuum, absolutely, putting on an amazing, hotly contested, brilliantly wrestled, fatal 4-way #1 contenders match in which we definitively get to one guy as the challenger, and we do a one-on-one match between Ricky Saints and Ethan Page, the actual best possible match you could do. On any other show that because you have been particularly booking this one as the multi-person match show. So it is very odd that the only one-on-one match on the entire show is this one. It feels so out of place. I think that it's going to be a great match. I wish all the other matches were one-on-one, but you get one-on-one match, and it feels out of place. It's going to be great, and I'm glad they're doing it. But a part of me is like, no, it was right there to do the thing you always do, which is you had a dude at ringside. You had the champ sitting at ringside, Ricky Saints, and he did get involved, but because it was already a fatal 4-way, which is no DQ, they couldn't disqualify anybody, but they did send him to the back. So they just finished out the match, which again was really well done. And honestly,
really well done.
With the exception of Lexis King, only because he's not for me. I really will miss all these guys who aren't on the card. Like Wesley, for sure, I think was really hosed this past year. Like, he had amazing stuff that he was doing with the breakup of MSK, and then they just forgot about him. And Eddie Thorpe has been doing really, really important top of the card work for the past several weeks, several months. Alexis King is an important figure in the NXT broadcast. Like, all of these guys have a claim to want to be on the. You put almost literally every woman you have in your employ is in this show, but all these other men aren't, and I feel kind of bad for that. However, like, how bad can I feel when what we're getting out of it is the match we're supposed to be getting?
Right.
Ethan Page and Ricky Starks. And when Ethan Page shows up, when Ricky Saints wins the North American title, and he ruins the celebration by hitting him from behind, you could just make this match right then. You didn't have to involve all this other stuff and make it and muddy all the waters. We kind of figured this was the match you wanted to do anyway, but I think usually NXT HBK likes throwing in a whole bunch of extra ingredients where they don't belong. So I just assumed we were going to do that again. And this is probably the correct outcome. But it still didn't make it any less shocking when they did a thing that made sense.
Ain't that the way? So, first of all, I really enjoyed this match. I really enjoyed that we started with them in the ring for it. Like, just like, let's get going. I thought that was really good. Here's why I'm mad about it, Alex. I had my rant all ready to go. I had my rant about how this was going to be another multi-person match and they should have just done Ethan Page and Ricky Saints, and then they did it. So I'm upset because they ripped my rant out from under me, and there's nothing more painful than when you have a rant marinating.
I know.
And then it's just they do the thing that you want them to do. It's really deflating as a professional hater. So it's it hurts. And let me tell you, it's an art form because there are a lot of people that hate for the sake of hating, and it's like, leave it to the connoisseurs, please.
That's right.
I I do agree with you that it's kind of a weird route to get there, but I also feel like for me, because I had the same thought. I was like, well, then why did we do this 4-pack in the first place? And especially with Ethan coming off that great series of matches with Javon. He was so effed up, man. Like he was so sadistic and violent in those that I felt like taking this route kind of took some of the heat out of Ethan Page. But I also can't say that when I'm consistently for all of wrestling saying, why is this person in this match from a wrestling perspective? Like, where's the win? Where's the qualification? Like, they did the thing where he qualified, but I feel like it just feels maybe like a little bit rushed because it feels like we should have had this match maybe 2 weeks ago, and then Ricky Saints and him had some promo battles or something leading into it.
Right.
But overall, I thought this match was really, really good. I really like the work of Eddie Thorpe. I really do. I think there's
he's been very good.
Hell of a wrestler in there. And Lexis King is going to bring Noam Dar back, right? So he can't advance in this, right?
I mean, not on Saturday, but maybe on Tuesday.
I miss him.
Will Chisholm also, I think Eddie has tapped into a really great thing, which is reminding most of the audience that they are inherently bad people, which is always fun for a heel to do. Will Chisholm says, "It's worth it for Eddie saying greedy white men." That promo last week, I was like, "Oh, that's your secret sauce, dude." The Native American heel who just says that everybody is so greedy. You stole my land from me, and I blame you. Somebody who was like the grandchild of immigrants who came over 75 years after the last Native American was moved off of that land. Like, yeah, absolutely. That take that to the absolute extreme. I think that would really work out for him. That's a very niche heel move to do, is to be like, I'm Native American and I blame each and every one of you people. Manifest destiny was your fault. Yeah.
I'm also a huge fan of heels that are a little bit right. That's just my thing. Like the Planet's Champion run for me. Straight Edge Society CM Punk. The reason I got into wrestling. So like, I love people that are a little bit right, but are so self-righteous about it that they're like unlistenable or so pretentious. It's like, whoa. So, anyway, heels that have kernels of truth in their platform is something that I really, really enjoy. But his in-ring work to me is just fantastic. Like I really enjoyed him in this match a lot. And Noam Dar, I miss you so much.
Yeah.
I do wonder, because apparently NXT gets to have a pre-show that has matches on it. I wonder if these guys sneak on there in some other capacity, if this Fatal 4-Way was going to set something up for them outside of it or whatever. Like maybe they'll announce something on a social media exclusive, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's very possible. Yes, in the middle of the match, Ethan Page throws Eddie Thorpe into Ricky Saints' lap, who's sitting at the commentary desk. And so Ricky tosses Eddie into the barricade and gets up at Ethan's face, and the ref is like, "You got to get out of here. We're not going to have this. I have been specifically told that I cannot throw this match out because we need at least one-on-one match on this card. So this is what we're doing." I thought that was good. And then Ethan gets a cut of promo after winning. The finishing stretch, by the way, boom, 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 boom. Everybody took a finisher. Really
Delicious.
great. He hits the twisted grin on Lexis, pins him, gets a things like, "Hey, I'm the man. Everybody, I know everybody's really upset about that, but I'm going to beat you, Ricky Saints." And then Ricky Saints runs in from the back and spears him and stands over him with the title, and that's going to be a really good match.
It's going to be really good. It's good. I'm actually also somewhat intrigued by the outcome because I don't think Ricky Starks is long for NXT. That would be a crazy short title run to immediately get called up after. I don't think he loses there, but maybe it's like another match with Ethan Page, and then he drops. Then
again, I certainly, if you're telling me the two choices are drops at Stand and Deliver and is called up the Raw after Mania, or he's in NXT for over a year, I would say the second one is far more likely. Simply because they have their guys. There's no room for Carmelo Hayes on the main roster unless Ricky Starks goes in and presents Triple H with a forged 23andMe saying that he is 75% Samoan. There's no chance he's going to get pushed on the main roster. I'm telling you. So I'm just saying. It's the way it works apparently up there.
He seems to have some very important advocates that are the top of the card guys.
We'll see how much the not the Cody character, but the Cody actual guy can do his politicking. We'll see because Cody the character politicked Jey Uso over to there and traded him for Kevin Owens and all that. Let's see what Cody the actual wrestler does. We'll see.
But Punk too and stuff. And the other thing with him is he's in his mid-30s, I think. So I think
he's like 35. He's got 3 more years.
35. So he's in his prime, kind of. Like, let's
sure, but other people also are that as well, and nothing happens with them. So we'll see.
Yes, that is true. He should be on the main roster, but also Julius Creed should be doing something more that he is. Like, maybe I don't want him long in NXT because I don't want him to get called up because the bumps are so bad.
But I actually want him to stay in NXT. I think he'll have a much better chance of doing important things there. You know what I mean?
Understand.
And I want to watch him do important stuff. You know what I mean? That's what I want to watch. I don't want the idea that they might pair him with the Miz and have him talk up the Miz backstage. Everyone knows how great the Miz is. You know what I mean? They'll be calling themselves Mizzy Saints. And the revolution is awesome.
I'm giving them ideas.
They're gonna do it. Okay, so we got Soul and Zarya backstage being cute about who's gonna win the ladder match, me or you. What are you talking about? It's gonna be me. Well, I don't know, might be me. And Kalani being like, what? No, it's gonna be me. I'm gonna do it. And then Izzy Dame comes up and it's like, you know what? I like the old Kalani, the one who was a pushover and we walked all over her. That was a lot of fun. You should go back to being that. I thought it was good. It was very funny. Nikita Lyons had a portable white girl light and was doing duck face into the camera way in the background. And that's the way Nikita Lyons gets on TV now. Like, again, remember whenever the hell that was, 2022, when we were absolutely certain she was the next women's world champion. That was how they were pushing her. They were pushing her so hard that she got hurt, and then who knows? But it was it's just weird to me how the fortunes of people in NXT change so radically.
Yeah, they really, really do. I think you need to put some respect on Sol Ruka's name because she is your WWE Speed Women's Champion, by the way.
That's awesome. That's great.
Beat Candice LeRae.
You know what would be really weird? I mean, I can't even imagine a scenario in which they would do this. But you could tell everybody that she is. You could say Sol Ruka, she could it would be honestly entirely in character for her to be like just like and like do a little thing on the belt to like hey, see what I won? See what I won? I'm the speed champion. And
Oh,
like,
I'm sorry, she isn't yet. It airs tomorrow.
Okay.
I
Well, then
genuinely
they better do it. She better wear that damn belt to the ring on Saturday. I'll be a double champ if I win the North American Championship. That's what you should say.
They're so aggressively not doing that, then it makes me wonder if it's a part of their agreement. Like if they said, for this extra price, we'll give you TV exposure, and X didn't want to pay it or whatever. And so they said, all right, well, you're not getting any or something. But
It's just
it's
so especially when an
it's weird.
NXT superstar wrestler does it. Like that means
Yeah, I agree.
they're going to SmackDown and Raw and wrestling these matches against main roster talents and winning them. That should be a major talking point for Sol Ruca, and they can't even bring it up.
Do you think they're embarrassed? They're like, we thought this was going to be cool, and it turns out it's super not. So we're just not going to mention it. But we're locked into this deal, and those matches get millions of views.
Maybe, I don't know, but it would be really funny if Sol Ruca was like, "I'm the speed champion." And it's like the only reason that I'm not champion is because they don't have a strength championship yet. Is what Zelta says to her. You know what I mean? Like they don't have a throw a girl 8 rows into the audience championship, or I would have that one. So okay.
And Jordan Grace and her would fight for it, but
yeah,
Alex.
Yeah.
I don't think you can bet on your speed champions, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, it'd be difficult because they tape them really far ahead of time. It'd be weird.
They do.
Because if I can, I'm putting all my money on Sol Ruca right now to find out if she becomes the champ tomorrow.
The odds would be in your favor. But you can bet on wrestling, and you think, Kate, that would be silly to bet on the speed champion. Do you know one of their prop bets is a vote for who's going to be the next pope? There are fun things that you can bet online. And BetOnline AG about all sorts of stuff. They had like what state Pornhub is going to be banned in. They have so much fun stuff that you can bet on at BetOnline AG. Sean has, guys, if you follow us on social media, you know that Sean has found Canva and he's using it because when you see graphics that say old and not poor for Jordan Grace and sperm, I am not the one being like, here, my boss, we should do these. No, that is all him, okay? But Ric Flair is the odds-on not favorite to be involved in dethroning John Cena. He is the lowest one. But go to BetOnline AG. They've got you covered. Sean Ross Sapp is going to tell you all about it via video.
I want to talk to you guys about our great partner at BetOnline AG. Yes, the place that lets you bet on pro wrestling. We've gotten our pro wrestling betting odds from them for years, well before we even worked with them. And we're going to tell you a little bit more about them. They got the earliest lines, the fastest payout, the industry best bonuses. They've been trusted for 25 plus years because of their safe and secure environment and their quick payouts. But you can bet on pro wrestling. How cool is that? If you think you know more than anybody, go ahead and look at those odds. It's the same ones you've seen on Fightful for years. You might see one that sticks out to you and you go, wait a second, there's no way that person's going to win. Why are they an underdog? Make yourself some money. BetOnline AG, and hey, it doesn't stop there. Whatever sports you want, they got you covered. Popular games like blackjack and roulette, Supernova, Skyward, all that stuff. BetOnline AG. Please bet responsibly and only bet what you can at BetOnline AG.
Guys, there are some moments that are only for me and Alex. And the way we dance backstage while ads are playing is one of them. But BetOnline AG, sincerely such a great partner to us. So head over there, throw a couple bucks down on BetOnline AG. If you are subscribed to Fightful Select, we have underdog lock picks in the Discord server, or sometimes just behind the paywall as well. We are like, our hit rate is so OMG. Like N for N, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. beautiful, incredible, win your money. That's us. That's what we got for you at FightfulSelect.com. So you could pay for your FightfulSelect.com subscription with just like one underdog lock bet. That's how good we are. Best $5.99 in the biz. We got you covered there, but BetOnline AG. Those odds get a little trickier when everything's a multi-person match, Alex. I gotta say.
They do. That's true. That's true. So we entered tonight knowing only 4 of the 6 women who were going to be in the ladder match.
Yes.
And we didn't even enter the night knowing who was going to compete for the last 2 spots.
It's very tricky to write up an episode description for these broadcasts when they don't tell you anything.
The first of those 2 spots was contested for by Tatum Paxley and Lola Vice. And it just became a waiting game of how they're going to have Lola Vice win this match. And my major question, because it was like I wanted to see what was going to happen in this match. I wanted to know whether or not Lola Vice was going to stand in the middle of the ring and loudly proclaim her heritage before hitting somebody in the face with her butt. And it turns out she did do that. So
there you go.
Confirmed. But I honestly thought that they wrestled a very good match against each other. I liked
really good chemistry together.
Tatum went for the for her what is it, Cemetery Avenue or whatever they call that thing. That was really awesome. Her version of that of the Psycho Blade or whatever the thing is they called that, but it was countered. It was really well done. And she just accidentally walked into a back fist. And when I like that they've set that up for Lola, when she hits you with that back fist, you're done. And she pins her and she wins. I don't think they've done. I'll say this. I don't think they've done nearly enough with Lola Vice over the past 6 months to make her feel like she belongs in a title match. I'm so like they did a thing where she faced Roxanne, but that was a long time ago, and like she hasn't felt important in a bit. Like she had the thing with Jada Parker, but that was in the fall. And I know she won that, but I don't think they really capitalized on it. So I feel like they could have done more with just her being on TV a little bit more often. I know she had a couple of things where hey, I'm going to be in that ladder match. And at that point you kind of knew that she was, because they wouldn't have her say that if she wasn't going to be. But I think that it is kind of an embarrassment of riches, especially in the mid card. You just have so many women who were just, you could tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, you're getting a title match next week. They're sitting there waiting for it because they're in that position.
There are a few, I think they've actually done a very good job overall of prioritizing the talent that was there before Zarya and Julia and Steph came in, because that could really rock your product. And you could very easily have people get super left behind. Lola Vice is one that kind of didn't re-find her footing until after that Jada Parker feud, or since that Jada Parker feud, rather. Yeah. And there's a couple like Gigi Dolan. I'm like, what are we doing, Gigi Dolan? Now we have something for her. We're going to talk about it, but she's been really lost in that mix too.
You talk about somebody whose fortunes have changed.
Yeah. What the heck, man?
If the thing with Mandy Rose doesn't happen, they definitely call the whole act up together. And they're former 2 or 3 time women's tag champions on
probably 87 time ones.
I mean, I don't
are booked.
I mean, I don't know. Like,
did they go to one of their hometowns? Yeah, they won. There's 3 of them in that faction. That's 3 wins right there.
Yeah. So it's very, yeah.
It's unfortunate because I think I'm always rooting for her because I think there's something special with her, but like she's just an example of another one that's kind of felt like her path got a little bit pushed to the side. We do find out what she has going on shortly, but like I think the Carly Brights of the world probably shouldn't yet be on television consistently. Like her and kind of a couple of people that were just getting their feet wet, like in that vein, probably should be the ones that are like not quite on TV because these three
Well, yeah,
powerhouses. They're taking a
they're-
TV time. And then they'll
they're
get called
doing
up.
that. Yeah,
And
they're
that
doing that
group of
Tubi
women
show. They're doing the Tubi show now.
both.
The
Yeah,
Carly Brights of the
exactly.
world are
So
doing the Tubi show. So
there's
yeah.
you moved from AAA to AA, and that's fine because that's where you should be right now. So like the order of chaos works in that regard. But there are some people that feel, I don't want to say like unimportant, but just not as prioritized as they were before that influx. Lola Vice, Gigi Dolan, Fallon Henley got lost there again for a minute after she dropped the title, but has kind of come back. So it's a lot to balance. They have a very robust women's roster. So and no tag titles.
No tag titles. So backstage, after Tatum takes the loss and she's there with Gigi, this is where Ava tells Gigi and Tatum, I'm glad that you're here because I have an idea for the pre-show of Stand and Deliver. It's going to be the two of you and it's going to be probably Fallon and JC Jane. I don't know, maybe Jasmine Nix is one of them. But them and Lash and Jakara in a elimination tag match. And I talked to Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce, and the winner of that match will get a title shot on the NXT after WrestleMania. So on next Tuesday. And then Roxanne comes in and is like, I knew it. I knew you were trying to cut me out. I don't have a tag partner, so what am I going to do on WrestleMania weekend? And I'm like, well, Roxanne, what you should have done is like put Adam Pearce in a crossface after you were in the Elimination Chamber match and they didn't call you up. You should have put him in a crossface and never let go until he allowed you to be on the main roster because that's where you belong. But eventually we get around to her and Cora have decided to now team up for this fatal four-way elimination match on the Stand and Deliver pre-show, which I believe takes place at 6 a.m. local time. So that is like just don't bother going to bed. Your call time is 11:30 p.m. the night before. You can watch Jimmy Fallon while you're getting your hair done. Like that is crazy. You know, like that is nuts. So, yeah,
just the visual of that is incredible. Yeah. Like just a exasperated wrestler watching Jimmy Fallon getting their hair done is incredible. Yeah. Incredible stuff.
I think that to do a prediction, I think that there's no way they can resist Roxanne and Cora winning that and getting that title shot, and either they somehow win it, or I'll tell you this right now. If Lyra and Bayley somehow win those tag titles at WrestleMania, they are losing them on Tuesday to Roxanne and Cora, who then get called up, and there's your stuff. Bayley already has a history with Roxanne, so does Lyra. Exactly. Cora Jade gets to be like the person egging Roxanne on. You have the tag titles, and they would love nothing more than to involve a singles title and the tag titles in one feud. They would love that. Would be that's their dream. So like, yeah, absolutely, that's what they're gonna do. If Liv and Raquel retain, it's less clear. But definitely if Bayley and Lyra win, they're losing those titles 2 days later. For sure.
I mean, it feels like there's a mandate in place that if a women's wrestler holds more than 2 titles, she has to lose them within like a week. I think you're right. I think it's almost a no-brainer that they're the ones that win that. Unless someone has to turn on someone, which you never know. Like, could be, but I think they probably stick it out for the win on that.
I mean, it's also possible that like Fallon and JC win, and then Lyra and Bayley somehow beat them, and then JC and Fallon turn on each other. Like, there's all kinds of dumb possibilities there.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. You know what?
Just the oddest little thing that
Yeah.
they would have Roxanne Perez. I know we've said this the past couple weeks, but it bears repeating. Roxanne was the runner-up in the Royal Rumble, had the longest ring time of any woman ever, competed in the Elimination Chamber, and then is now on the pre-show of Stand and Deliver.
Yeah.
And normally, I like to be cranky at HBK for things like this, but I can't. I have to be cranky at the main roster for this because I think what they said was Roxanne, the Mania plans fell apart for her, and of course Shawn Michaels is going to be like, "Duh, we will put her on the Stand and Deliver show."
We'll find a spot for her for sure.
Yeah, of course. And between that and the uncertainty with Julia that seemed to be there, like it feels like they had a lot of. I think they've actually done a pretty good job considering how many variables there were on this build and how intent they've been on doing multi-person matches. Like,
right.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah. Ryan Giacchini, just hoping against hope for things that will never happen. Was praying Roxanne was going to team with Mako. Now that would be amazing. Gosh, I want to live in that. I want to live in that dimension where that's possible. What timeline do I have to prune to get on that one? That's really good.
Alex is studying string theory to see how he can jump to.
You mean no? Wow. Yes, Jambeard is saying people who complain that AEW pay-per-views are too long should be throwing fists to having an entire damn day of WWE, including a 9-hour pre-show. Now, the pre-show added to the main show and the post-show, that in total is 9 hours. So it's really not that. It's still terrible. Yeah, it's not great. It's definitely not great. But
the thing with that is when I look at an AEW card, or God forbid attend one and have to wake up the next morning, I can every time I'm like, that could have been on Dynamite, that could have been different, that should be on ROH. I say to myself a lot. With WWE, it's fluff that needs to get cut out. Like, I ain't watching a 3-hour pre-show with no matches on it. I'll watch this if over my morning coffee, which is just weird. But
I'm going to rely entirely on the SGS Discord telling me what time when this match is starting, and then I will tune in. I'm not watching 1 second of Sam Roberts giving opinions about NXT wrestlers.
I'm going to need them to call and wake me up like I'm a kid. I'm going to need that.
Your wake-up call.
Yes, please. Yeah. But I do think that if you're attending this event one night at a time, it probably feels different, or just watching it than working through an entire weekend doing post show. So I don't feel like with something like this, I can evaluate whether it's too long or not, because I feel like it's just too long for us because we have that day will be 4 hours of extra work and then another 2 before it and another 2 after.
Yeah. We got our tag team championship #1 contenders gauntlet match, and Kate, we didn't. I don't think we discussed this this on Friday. Do you remember how they laid out the women's tag team gauntlet match? Do you remember the order in which people came in and who was destined to win, and what number they were in the gauntlet on Friday? I'll give you a hint if you don't remember. It was Lyra and Bailey came in first, and everybody knew they were winning.
Of course. And their music even hit first. It wasn't even it wasn't even Pure Fusion Collective came out first. They came out as the first challengers.
They were first.
The same amount of ring time. It was their music.
They were first. And we all knew they were winning. There was no chance anybody else in that gauntlet was winning. Are you kidding me? Yeah, B-Fab and Mi Chin are getting a tag title match on WrestleMania. That's the thing that's going to happen. So we all knew that was going to happen. You were going to have the team run the gauntlet literally from first to win the whole thing to get into the thing. And there's no need for that with that team, because this is the first time they've ever teamed together. They're not trying to pick up wins back on all the teams that beat them in the last 2 months.
Right.
Like with the Gauntlet match tonight. When I said last week, the only way this match works is if Hank and Tank come out first and then get pinfall victories over all the teams that beat them leading up to this match. I never dreamed they'd actually do the right thing. It's not their modus operandi, but that was the way to do it. And the fact that you decided to run almost identical tag team number one contenders gauntlet matches within 4 days of each other is it just speaks to nobody talks to each other. And honestly, I feel like HBK had this planned a long time ago.
Sure.
Because
they've led to it. Yeah.
They've led up to it. And then Triple H was like, hey Sean, what are you doing with your tag team down there? Oh, we've been building up for several weeks now to this gauntlet match, and it's kind of cool. Like Hank and Tank are going to enter first. Oh, that's great. I'm stealing that. And then HBK has to be like, okay, well, either I change all the plans we've been doing now for the last several weeks and months, and just on the fly change the way I'm going to book the gauntlet, or I look like the dude who copied Triple H. And I feel like that just happens way more often. There's so many things I watch on SmackDown that then I watch immediately again on Tuesday. Yep. And I feel like it's just Triple H seeing what HBK has planned for Tuesday and then stealing it. And that makes HBK look bad, but I still feel like on the other way, it's definitely Triple H stealing from him.
I think the other thing that, okay, backing up, organizing thoughts, computing. I liked this match and I liked the story of this match. I thought Hank and Tank.
This was really well done.
It was really, really well done. And Hank and Tank, they're not even like the biggest boys anymore. They slimmed down a little bit, but they're
on the larger side compared to some of the people that they face, but not in this match. This match, they're a bunch of beefy boys in this match. Yeah.
So I was really impressed legitimately by the stamina, and I, in a shocking upset, felt like commentary did a great job with this match. But this is the most I've liked Corey Graves, and I think Vic Joseph is just someone he seems like he's very comfortable with in a different way, or maybe he's not getting as many directives to be as cartoonishly heel, but he's a lot, for me, and my preference is a lot more palatable. But this tag gauntlet was great. Myles Borne looked great. But I was so impressed because the stories weren't consistently big guys throwing little guys around. And while they are very fun and engaging, they had a character motivation to get them through. And their relationship, I thought, with each other played out really nicely at a lot of points throughout this. It was really, really good tag team wrestling. I feel like the problem with the duplicity is something that we run into a lot, but when it's something like a tag gauntlet, that's something that's so specific, and the fact that they happened back to back is nuts. It's not like, oh, they ran a backstage angle and they also ran a backstage angle and they also actually ran 4 backstage angles at the same time. A tag gauntlet is not only super specific, it also happens to be like my favorite stipulation. So when I was seeing it, I was like,
how often does any promotion run a 5-team tag team gauntlet number 1 contenders match once every 18 months? And they did 2 in 4 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a very, it's not like it's a 4 corners qualifier. It's not like it was a tournament. It's not like it was a battle royal. There were other ways of figuring out how to put these people. I would argue there's no need for a gauntlet match to determine Lyra and Bayley were going to win. They didn't have to run a gauntlet. They just had to win a 4 corners.
Alex, half the teams weren't teams.
I know
this one had the story for it.
Yeah,
the fact that
this one needed it. This one made absolute sense because not only do they win it, it doesn't work nearly as well if it's like a 4 corners match, because then you get a pinfall on one of the teams that beat you. They have been losing consistently to get into this match, and then they got pinfalls over all of the teams that beat them over the last 6 weeks or 2 months. That means more than just Lyra and Bailey put together, because why not? And then they win a bunch of matches against teams that aren't even teams. This is a much better use of it. It looks bad since it happens second. Like it just,
right.
you know.
And if you're not someone that watches every week, you don't necessarily know all of that story.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, like, they did a really good job with this one, not only from the layout and the wrestling of the match, but like this has been a search for who they are along the way. And they found it and they started winning. Like, that's a really good wrestling story. And there's not a lot of losing upward wrestling stories that I like, but this one had something to it. And I feel like Hank and Tank as a team did a really good job with this whole angle. It's been because you have to find the balance of the silliness of like, we're trying to be these different teams, but you have to sincerely be trying to be those people so that you can realize that it was in you all along, right? So I've actually really enjoyed this angle for the most part, especially with it ending like this. There's some sort of satisfaction, and I found myself rooting for them, which is great.
Yeah. I mean, I also thought that the 4 separate matches that they wrestled were distinct and different. The second one being the longest against the Culling. I think that I think Niko Vance is I don't necessarily need to see a singles run from this dude, but I like him as a tag guy. I think it works. He and Beej work really well together. Again, gonna need a backstory on the Exo Tights. I just gonna need a backstory. Is that Hugs and Kisses are again drawing up a play for the high school football game? What's going on, Beej, with the tights? Other than that, I really like those 2 guys as a tag team. And then NQCC coming in after, because that was the longest one. Those guys, they were, I think were spent, and fresh legs. NQCC,
really
like that is
good stuff.
the perfect team to come in then, because like those guys have motor for days, and all of a sudden you got these two big guys who have kind of worked them. They don't have long matches, and already just after the 2 matches that they already wrestled, they're sucking wind. So that was a really good thing for them. And once they get over those guys, then all of a sudden you got the bruisers coming in, where it's just like these guys are going to hit us as hard as they can. And again, they're fresh. And I loved that the last 2 were like, you know what? I'm just going to try and win this thing with a roll up. I honestly don't even know what I'm doing here.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Good use
like
of the roll up. When do we get to see that?
We have to get out of this alive. You know what I mean? And so they like just drop it into a small package and just praying it worked, and it did. Like if Briggs kicks out of it, you know, maybe the Double Vest Besties, maybe they're the ones going on. You know, like that's my new name for them, Double Vest Besties. The Double Vest Besties, maybe they're the ones going on. And maybe they're the ones who go on to think. But he didn't, and I loved his reaction too. He was just kind of shocked and bewildered. I honestly felt like they should be the ones who like lift him up and go, you know what, shake hands. That was good. You know what, respect. You know, if you win those titles, we want the first shot.
We're coming for
you know what I mean? One of those things could be kind of cool there. Backstage, their interview being interrupted by the Blurry Boys, who were confident but not necessarily arrogant. It's just like Frazier was. It's like, too bad you went through all that work for nothing because you're losing on Saturday. But Axiom was more respectful. I like that. And again, we have terrible records of when people get called up to do anything.
It's the thing we're the worst at, and I can say that with confidence.
Yeah. If the plan is, and there's no reason why it couldn't be. If the plan is to call up Fraxium for the Raw or SmackDown after Mania, they did a really great job. This is the kind of story for the tag team that eventually beats them that works. They went from a losing streak to a winning streak in one night. They figured out who they are as a tag team. You have one of the members of the tag team being a little arrogant with them. This is the exact right story for the team to beat them. I honestly, if Hank and Tank won, I would not be mad about it. I don't think they should have a 12-month reign, but like, I think it's the right storyline for a team to beat them.
I agree with that.
They can lose to NQCC by Battleground. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
But again, tell stories. That's what we need. And they've told a really good story with Hank and Tank here. Absolutely. And Jambeard, no, I am not part of HBK's booking team. Even though I was spot on with the Hank and Tank booking, I just guessed right somehow. I guessed that they might do the right thing, and then they did.
In the match layout, like you said, you went through it beautifully, so I don't have a ton to add, but like whoever produced it did a great job because it laid the framework for the story to come to life. Like, we don't always see that. Some of that's the learning curve in NXT, honestly. Sometimes wrestlers just don't get that piece of it yet. But this one, I felt like everything clicked in. This in the opener, really, really good in ring. Like a lot of it for how chaotic these matches were. Like it was good. It was really, really good.
Tom LaValle is saying, come on, Alice. We all know HBK watches the show. I think he's got spies. I don't think he watches it himself, but I think he's got spies who report back because we are absolutely the best and most popular NXT review show. So
I know of certain talent that watch the show because I've heard from them good and bad, mostly good, which is credit to them and surprising.
And honestly, good for them for being able to take a joke because it is a joke. These are all jokes. This is not. Yeah,
and it's always there seems to be an understanding that we are critical of creative and not them as often. They seem to resonate with that in my experience talking to some of them. But
that's good.
We're super aware that this is a developmental and at most a wrestling show. So as much as we are throwing bricks at the moon sometimes, we're not really launching them yet.
No, we're not really.
Guys, get in your super chats and humper chats if there's anything you want to talk about. We're seeing some of the jukebox chats come in. We appreciate you. We've got color puns coming in. We'll also take a moment to remind you to subscribe to Fightful Select as we go here. I laid out the schedule of all the chaos that's going on at the beginning of the show. There's a lot more of you watching now than there were then. But if you're wondering what our weekend programming slate is, I was on my Excalibur grind with that. It was just like one deep inhale, letting you guys know. But Alex and I will be doing your Stand and Deliver review.
Yep.
We will also be behind the paywall for nights 1 and 2 of WrestleMania and for your Raw after Mania as well, alternative to what is on the main. So we've got all of that. Tons of scoops coming your way. That free tier already has some stuff up. Joel Pearl is going to be in Las Vegas, getting interviews, working on some content there. So we got boots on the ground. We're all over the place this weekend. We're hard to miss, easy to find.
Yeah. So Sophie Turner again. Sophie Turner? Stevie Turner. I say how Sophie Turner.
How dare you?
Oh, Stevie, not Sophie. Stevie. I don't know why I said Sophie. Stevie Turner is the general manager of Evolve, and she's able to tell Callie Armstrong. And I was like, that Callie Armstrong is in the last qualifier match? No, she's in the main event of Evolve tomorrow night. Is
it Bailey Armstrong or is it Callie Armstrong?
It's Callie. Callie.
I was gonna.
It's. I don't know. I'm not.
It can't be Bailey.
No, it's not Bailey. It's Callie Armstrong or Kaylee Armstrong or Collie Arm. I don't know. It's one of those. But I hear nothing but good things from her, and the video clips I've seen are very impressive. So I was kind of hoping we were going to get that. However, Robert Stone reminds everybody in the room after Callie has left, Kylie has left, that we still have one more qualifier for the women's ladder match. And Ava says, "Oh, don't worry about that. I just found a last minute entrant for that last qualifier match." You just found one? You just found one. You on the ground? Where? Was it in the corner? Were you checking for the remote and the couch cushions and you found her there? What? You just found one? What? So weeks ago you said we're going to do a ladder match. 6 women are going to be in a. You said last week there's not going to be any Lanchcast qualifier. So last week you were just thinking, hey, eventually at some point before next week's second qualifier match, I'm going to bump into a girl on the street and be like, hey, by the way, I didn't do my job. Would you like to be in a qualifier for the North American title ladder match? Like, why? Honestly, this is the thing about this show that bothers me the most. It's the little examples of how none of you are actually preparing for the show in canon. I know obviously you prepared for the show in reality, but in canon, Ava just decides, oh yeah, anyway, I found this person. I just thought maybe she'd be a good fit. No, like when you set up a ladder match, you know the 12 women who are in the 6 qualifiers.
Look, there's 900 women, and all of them are on the Stand and Deliver card. She might have had a clerical error on one of the qualifiers.
Actually, 6 of them aren't, because they, by definition, well, a bunch of them actually are, because they lost their qualifier, but they're still in the tag match. But one person who isn't on the show, and I feel bad for, is Carmen Petravich. Because
yeah,
she
me
was
too.
the last person to lose a qualifier. Now, before we get into that point, she says, oh, and Robert Stone says, oh, who is it? Oh, you'll hear her entrance music and you'll know, is what she says.
They spoiled it.
Carmen Petravich comes to the ring doing her shing thing.
Yes.
By the way, she hasn't kicked Ashanti to the curb. Like this was weeks ago now, where he passed a chair to her during the match, and she looked at it for a long time before deciding not to use it, and then she lost the match, and then she appeared to like break up with him backstage in the background of a Jada Parker promo.
They're a
but apparently
couple,
they're still they've gotten back together. She's always going to give him another chance. He's bad for her, and she knows it, but she just can't quit him.
He texted her and was like, I'm really sorry this time.
Baby, please. Anyway,
every sorority sister I've ever had.
Okay, so she comes to the ring, and again, all we know is Ava told us we will know who she is by her entrance music when she makes the entrance for the thing. And then they have a little graphic on the bottom that has Carmen Petravich on the left, and then it says qualifier, North American Women's Ladder Match thing. Doesn't have a names of it, but they have the graphic is Carmen Petravich on the left, and on the right is Thea Hale. For the first time in months, in a graphic without her name on it. And I was like, did they just spoil the thing that was going to be a surprise from the music? And they did it with like the graphic, the staggering incompetence of this show. It's just crazy to me that they would say, "Don't we have a specific reveal of this secret we are keeping? We are going to spoil it ourselves." It's just I can't even fathom it.
What was the one that they on the main roster with Cody, where it was like opponent named later or something?
No,
what was it?
His thing at the bottom was it said women's tag champions, insert name here, which you never would do if it was going to be the people retaining. It would be new people. So that was for Clash of the Castles. That was how we knew ahead of time that Alba Fire and Isla Dawn were becoming tag champs.
Insert name here. That one got me good.
Yeah.
I was like, I was really glad it was Thea Hale, but I was like, but it's right. It's right there. Yeah. I was like, oh no.
Also, it wasn't revealed by her music anyway. It was revealed by she was in a scene. It was revealed by she like Andre Chase talking to the Chase U simps about something. I don't know. I never pay attention.
The deliciousness of and nutritional value of kale, probably.
And then it's like, but guys, it's done. It's over. It's all gone. I've ruined the lives of so many of my students. And then Thea Hale goes, didn't ruin my life. Hi.
Ruined mine, because where's Duke?
Just standing here. Hi, how's it going? Good. Did you hear about Duke? Yeah, I fell off a bridge. It's terrible. And then but he's like, oh wow, it's great. Hey, does this mean you're coming back to the new Chase U? No, I'm a proud alumni. With your associates, like you did not graduate in 4 years. There's no way you graduated in 4 years. You were wrestling too much. But maybe that's what she was doing. The while she was out, she was just taking she was just loaded up courses. On that semester. She took 85 credits. I have no idea when she found time to sleep. But anyway, she goes out to do her match. Did you happen to catch the Def Rebel thing that she says to start her music?
Was it Hell Yeah?
No.
They said that on commentary 6 times. That's why
it's much worse than that.
I actually did not hear.
I am a grown-ass woman.
I did hear that. I take it back. I repressed it from my memory as soon as I could.
And Louise has told me that after that statement said in her own voice, it's just Eddie Edwards' old TNA theme song from 5 years ago. They just lifted it verbatim. They just stole his old theme song from 5 years ago, pandemic era Eddie Edwards, but then put "I am a grown-ass woman" at the beginning of it.
They have to be playing a joke at this point. The incompetence of Def Rebel.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I said it on air or just online, but like the Canva stock music is more inspired than what they're doing. It's so bad, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are you not embarrassed by your output of the respect of other artists? Like what you're doing is supporting their presentation, and B, how are they still employed? I don't care if nobody applied for the position to take over. Like, I don't care if 0 people did. After the last Royal Rumble, they should have been saying, you know what? Shawn Michaels will sit at a keyboard and figure something out. Like, this is horrendous. This is horrendous. The fact that it's that lazy is like, the lack of giving a shit is just insulting to fans and wrestlers at this point.
And Jambeard, I did not see this, but I know you are going to immediately go look for it. Duke posted a pic of the Thea and Chase fist bump, and then he's behind him Star Wars Ghost style. I like, you have to find that and show that to the people.
Bro, I am legit kind of surprised they didn't just try and rehire him a little bit.
I mean,
yeah. With how good his post-release stuff has been and how easily it could just be lifted back into WWE programming, but he has his first match back on Friday. He's in Vegas there, but yes, I'm now looking at that Photoshop and it's incredible.
He's now Duke Hansen.
Yes,
that's fine. We're good. I would have gone with Hook Dudson, but that's fine.
Hook Dudson, also fantastic. Very happy for Thea Hill. She's back.
Then you could do Send Hook. That could be his thing. Send Hook, Huke, Send Hook.
I want him in the Callis family so bad.
Oh boy.
Glad Thea Hill's back. She had a back injury for a while, so I'm glad that she is.
Because back injuries are nothing to play around with. Even if she's that young, like that's a thing that can follow you for the rest of your life. So that I'm happy she's okay. But again, I am a little sad for Carmen Petravich because she was a major player since August.
Yeah, she was consistent,
consistently on screen, winning matches. Like she had a North American title shot. Like she feels like the most also ran because they didn't even announce that she was in this. She was just like the woman who was destined to lose to Thea Hale. Like
so she does have a blood sport match, which is cool.
which is great, and she's booked better there than she ever has been on NXT.
NXT,
so that's awesome. But like NXT is where she works.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I agree.
She's I keep saying this. She's a black belt in karate. Just use that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be this thing of like, my boyfriend, I'm in a toxic relationship with the boyfriend who tries to get me to hit people with chairs. You know what I mean? Like, I
It's
always
also
tell him
not a
no,
good use of Ashanti.
No, it's definitely not a good use of Ashanti either. Like, but she's been an important person, and usually the people who are important on TV get thrown into something if you put 17 women on the card. The fact that one of them isn't Carmen Petravich, who I'm pretty sure if you just used a cumulative TV time over the past 9 months, she would be in the top 5. And she's not
Probably,
among 17 women on the card. Feels like they're not doing right by her. Also, Thea Hale has found a fun new way to get into the one move that she knows how to do.
Do more than one.
She knows how to do more moves, but in canon, she didn't know what the hell she was doing, and then Drew Gulak, of all people, taught her how to do a Kimura, and that's the only way she's ever won a match since. So I thought they would have her do new stuff, but apparently they're like, we're going to find cool and new ways for you to get into that move, because admittedly, it is a pretty cool-looking submission hold. However,
It's very cool.
Submission holds don't do you much good in a ladder match. So, like, I'm seeing a lot of people who are saying, like, for example, way up the top here, right? Yoshiki says, "Got to be Thea Hale to win the North American title." I think it's a very solid chance that she does, for sure. But then now you got to do something with her. You've literally, because she's been out, you've done literally nothing with her to set her up for this. So now we're relying on you to be really good at the aftermath stuff, and you're usually really bad at that. So if she wins it, you better have a series of opponents lined up for her. What is she doing? Like, what's her whole story? Because if you put it on her as like a little like, hey, remember Thea Hale? Then that's going to fall apart immediately.
So what's tricky about this, and I actually really feel for like the NXT ecosystem, because I feel like they've been largely affected by some things that happened on the main roster. I feel like the fact that if it's not going to be Zarya or Sol Ruka, and they are not in that tag match, that feels like malpractice, and I don't think it's their fault. Like I think it's because the plans were so shifty up top. Mm-hmm. I'm team strap it on Zarya, have her turn on Sol. I'm sorry, or vice versa.
I'm team strap it on Sol, have Zarya turn on Sol when she can't get the job done in her. Of course, I'll give you the first title shot. You're my best friend and my tag partner. And then Zarya can't get it done, and then she's pissed because maybe Sol doesn't beat her honestly. Like if Zarya's the first to ever kick out of the Soul Crusher, and Sol then wins with a roll up or something, and she gets a really good deep roll up on her, and Zarya's pissed because that wasn't what we talked about. That's not how that. No. I'm owed another title match, and Sol's like, yeah, sure, of course. I mean, you don't be so mad about it. I mean, I beat you. I didn't mean to offend you. I was just defending my title. Like, no, that's not how we're gonna do this. I want another match, and Sol gives it to her. And Zarya wrestles entirely different now. Like what is going on with you? You know what I mean? And beats her down afterwards. And Sol's
That'd
like, what
really
the
fun.
hell? And then you build Sol to then climb back up to take the title from her former best friend and tag partner. There's 6 months right there I booked for you. They're not going to do any of that, but like that could be fun.
Because the other side of that is I think Sol Ruka would be really good at telling that story because she has that effortless coolness about her, and there's something really just special about her that I think she would do a great job telling that story. I also feel like that's a really good like push off point for Zarya. I think that could be a really, really fun direction to go. I would not be surprised if it's Thea Hale, and I don't even hate the idea that it would be. I would just hate the idea that it wouldn't be for the Sol Ruka Zarya story. I feel like that's a good way to go. But I'll do you one better, Alex.
Okay, please.
So Ruka comes down to the ring.
Yeah.
She's got 2 titles. She's got her speed title.
Yeah.
Her North American title.
Yeah.
That's what drives Zarya mad. It's not that she won the North American title. It's that she's double champ. But then before Zarya can even do anything about it, she has to vacate the speed championship. And it's very emotional.
Yeah.
I want to be a fighting champion, but realistically, I know that I have to give up one of these. And
What if Zarya is pissed because she's not even qualified to compete for the speed title, because you have to run a certain amount of how fast you could be to be in the like with a cruiserweight title, you have to be under 205 pounds. With the speed title, you have to run at least a 5 flat 40, or you can't be in it. And she runs a 5.2, and so she keeps trying to cut weight so she can win. She can run a faster 40-yard dash so she can.
It's about drive. It's about power. Yeah, she's just cutting weight. She's wearing those tinfoil suits that people the sauna suits.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that would make the speed title more fun to watch. I think.
Oh my God, we're good at this.
We're so much better at this. Jambeard says so. They cut time for the women and no women's U.S. title match for Mania. Not only does Triple H not see color, he must not see gender either. I don't know. HBK sees 17 of them, so maybe he can talk Triple H and be like, you know what I mean? There's 17 women on the card, which is great. It's awesome. It's awesome. However,
it's utter woke nonsense. Is what...
You know what? I'm almost somehow inclined to agree with you, because that's like Ryan Jaginia says, I get too many people, but cool, it has 17 women. I don't know. 15 would be fine, but 17 is utter woke nonsense. That is the funniest thing ever to come out of my mouth, I think. It's not possible. I honestly would like this from Tim McFall, is have Blurry Boys go up and beat New Day for the titles on Monday. Piss them off.
Yes. Yeah. Honestly, desperately needed.
That could be good. Oh, and Kate and Alex, get ready for so much WWE with so little wrestling this weekend. It's true. It's usually that's the way it's going to work.
Why are you all even on the air right now with the competition that you all have in Las Vegas? Do you all realize that the week has already kicked off there in Vegas?
Has it?
You don't know what's on right now in Las Vegas?
What's going on right now in Las Vegas?
Micro Wrestling Federation right now.
Ooh.
Which I got to admit draws fucking crazy house
sold out
2 miles
in New
from
Jersey.
me.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Everywhere they go, they draw. It's insane. No disrespect to OVW, but it stomps OVW. And
my friends went to it, and I was like, that might be a fun, silly thing to tag along to them with. They were like, it's sold out. I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah. Sorry, buddy. You just wait until they start charging the $3,000 for the VIP package.
Yeah,
and
I know.
The meet and greets going through the roof there. Then they'll put the title on Swoggle and he's never there,
Yeah.
It's just that part-timer.
Yeah, he's got that part-timer schedule,
Sean has an unbelievable ability to show up while I'm looking at something else on screen. I was looking at Humper Chats and didn't know you were there.
Well, also we have to talk about Dink and this terrible storyline he's doing called The Learning Fern. It's just slightly smaller than a tree.
Nope, that rules. I am the Learning Fern. No, that rules. I'm in.
There you go. I had a friend who tried to smoke a fern in high school. It didn't work. Didn't work.
It turns out there's only certain plants that it works with. Yeah.
So a friend of mine who was incarcerated, they were watching Mansers in their cell, and which it was debunked, so I don't know why they did it, but they were testing the theory that drying out and smoking banana peels would get you high. And they tried it in there and they got caught, the two people that were doing it. And as a result, they had television privileges taken away for a week, which that's all there is to do in that cell is watch TV. And there was like an actual decent UFC show on back then. It's back when they put good ones on cable. So to make up for it, the two guys that got caught put on like a wrestling match in the cell. And they had to do it off to one corner where they knew they wouldn't like get caught on camera too much. I looked back at that and I was like, man, that had to be the most dog shit replacement for like an Anderson Silva fight that I have ever heard in my entire life. All because of
banana peels. You have to put them on your face for your morning routine. That's what I learned in the last couple weeks.
Speaking of Spike TV, Jeff Hawkins, who will be with me on the WrestleMania post shows, died on 1,000 Ways to Die one time.
Really?
Yes.
I'm glad he's a zombie and can join you this weekend.
And Anna Bauert, who used to be on those shows, I realized probably about 3 months into our run, after me being like, why is she so recognizable? Oh, well, I saw her get murdered on an investigation Discovery show once. That's why.
There you go.
On a golf course. Yeah.
Sean, you want to know something incredible that's way too wholesome for me and Alex's show?
Probably not, but I'm ready.
Aubrey and Dad Talk Wrestling is a father-daughter duo that watches our shows, and they chat in sometime. Aubrey's up late. See, the people know.
They chatted in on one of mine recently, I believe.
Awesome.
Speaking of, I'll use this opportunity as we just signed with TikTok. Like to do some original creation. Kate is going to be doing some stuff over there in the coming weeks once we get that nailed down, all that stuff. But I did a live today there. We're going to do more. Allie says me and Emily and Sean are a father-daughter duo too. Like I'm in a group chat with them, and like it will never tell you who sent what message on the preview. But if it's got a curse word, I know it's Emily every time.
Yeah.
Like,
and the capitalization part too. If it's lowercase, it's Emily. Yeah. And just tone. You can just tell.
But I'm disappointed that you all aren't reviewing Micro Wrestling Federation.
We're reviewing this.
Numbers.
We're doing that. We're reviewing this now.
Listen, the puns would go crazy on that one. They would go wild on that one.
Yeah.
Don't doubt it.
But looking forward to this week. I know you two have a lot of stuff too, Kate. I'll be joining you at least briefly on Friday. And then, of course, lots of sour graps, lots of things to be sour about. And
we did the tonight's NXT was pretty good. We are more on the sweet side than the sour side, but we find our way. We find our way. I did the run through at the beginning of this show about our weekend slate, and I'm tired already, but looking forward to it. So
I have not watched it yet. I am going to watch NXT tonight. I'm finishing up season 1 of Your Honor with Bryan Cranston.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. How is it?
Pretty wild. Pretty wild.
Okay.
That's what I'll say.
Allie wants us to do a short review of the Micro Wrestling show.
Man. Well, I look forward to seeing what you all do this week.
All right.
See you guys later.
Bye. The learning fern should have been the educational bush, says Jambeard.
It should have been, or at least the educational branch of whatever it is.
I am the learning shrub. No?
I'm in on it.
So we only have a couple more things to talk about. One of them is a street fight. A heavily edited, terrible street fight. Parking lot brawl thing. So it starts out with Luca saying, "Hey, don't we have to wait for Tony to show up?" And Sax is like, "Yeah, I didn't tell him about it. I told the world about it at the end of the show last week, but Tony D doesn't watch the product. So
watch the product, Tony.
Anthony Mr. D'Angelo, please watch the product if you're going to get so upset about things being made in your name, matches as such. They had a plan, because if Tony's not there and Big Ange has to wait in the car, which, come on, you just give her a crowbar and let her like pick off a dude every now and then.
Big Ange.
She's Big Ange, like Ange, get in the car, and like she's just got to sit in the car and wait. Was ridiculous. But so that means it's 4-on-2. But no, we brought a whole bunch of guys in blazers and fedoras. We brought all of these guys who are our great uncles who are wandering around in blazers and fedoras, and they all get taken out by the dork state in the parking lot. But then it goes into the actual building, and it's nice that security is apparently on the side of the D'Angelo family, because they're just holding back. They need to get involved enough so they can stop it from being 4-on-2. Again, this is a terrible plan by Stacks. You brought with you a dozen old men in fedoras who got taken out in the first 5 seconds of the brawl, and now you're relying on security guys who, they're not reliable in these situations.
No, I can't say like wrestling security in general has ever been known for doing such a great job at their occupation. Like they're usually there to just not be able to hold people back.
Right.
This was very weird. I was kind of looking forward to this, and it was bad.
It was like they rehired oh god, who was that terrible director guy? Who's the guy? The Kevin Dunn. Or is that they rehired Kevin Dunn for one night only to do this one segment? Just cuts. It's just too much. But a guy gets put through a table. A dude gets speared through a wall. There was one point where if you're gonna do this bit in an edited video, make sure we don't see through the doorway you're pushing everybody through. If through that doorway is obviously a bathroom, and then cut to them being pushed through a doorway that is into a giant well-lit warehouse, like it was like they went through an Alice in Wonderland door and like came out the other side, and that's not how that works. But they mostly got their asses handed to them because it was 4-on-2 by the time they got rid of all the security guys. And then Tony shows up and jumps out of the car with a crowbar and beats the crap out of all of Dork State. And then the cops show up. And after he gets rid of those guys and runs them off, he goes and picks up Stacks. He's like, Tony, thank God you're here. We got to get out of here. It's the cops. No. I'm the one that called them. There are people. Tony D'Angelo owns people in the police force in Orlando. This is like Al Capone, who had cops working for him in Chicago. This is the best development in the Tony D'Angelo lore, that he's got cops. He
so
has
good.
officers on the Orlando Police Department in his pocket. That is and he can call only those guys to show up and help him out. That's awesome. Everything else about this was terrible because, like, again, Tony D shows up there like, what are you doing? What are you thinking about? Tell me about this. I had a plan. You ruined the plan I had. Stacks. And like Stacks was hitting people with crowbars and very involved. They were hitting him very hard too. I don't think it's at this point likely anymore for him to be part of Dork State. But he's definitely turning on Tony D'Angelo.
Feels that way.
I think I kept thinking about during this the whole time is there is no excuse at this point, almost 4 years into the Tony D'Angelo character, that he does not have at least 4 guys named guys, wrestlers who work for him. So if you're going to do a big parking lot brawl and the other faction you're facing has 4 guys, you also have 4 guys. The idea that it is this Tony D'Angelo and Stacks for the longest time, that's it. And then they added Luca, but then, you know what? 3 is enough. I think 3 constitutes a mob, right? Like if we're gonna
with
create
Big
a mob,
An's there too.
I believe Webster's defines mob as a group of people from 3 to 100. Technically, we are a mob, and I just feel like that's just not right. So this did not do, I think, what they wanted it to do. But Tony says my plan was for the 3 of us to have a 6-man tag, you know, with rules and whatnot, on the Stand and Deliver card, because that's how we do things. Well, you also do things. We've seen you throw multiple people over off a bridge, so like you also do things. Like it's very like I would keep thinking, you know what, a great way to get the member of Dork State who I don't like out of the faction. That's the guy they kidnap and toss off a bridge, and we just never see him again. And they replace him with somebody else. Yeah. So that's just part of the Stand and Deliver card now. Is Tony D being turned on by Stacks after they lose to Dork State? So,
I was kind of bummed because I was actually looking forward to this because the setup for this was really good last week with like the way that they revealed the personalities of everybody that's in Dark State. They did a good job with that. And if there's anything that they have tried, tested, and true, it's a parking lot brawl. So I understand the temptation to want to evolve from your standard parking lot brawl. I actually very much respect that. But this didn't come together the way that it was. I think the fact that it was a pre-tape, maybe something got, the editing didn't come together the way they had envisioned clearly on this, which is a bummer. But the strained relationship here, I like. And when Tony D said to do things the right way, I took it as he meant my way's the right way. Like the way that I want to go about business because I call the shots. So I kind of took that as not like do things the right way morally, but more like we do it the right way because I have this plan. So I hope that is on the Stand and Deliver pre-show. That would be a good like additional thing to add to it.
It's at Stand and Deliver. I think it's on the card. I think it's on the actual card.
That would be great. This should be like these. You have a new faction you're trying to do something with. You have the D'Angelo family, like
which has a major storyline involved in it. This is the kind of match that should be on the PLE to actually
agreed.
Put over the new guys, and B, like do a major story beat with that faction that's been around again for 4 years.
Definitely,
you know what I mean. So, So it's a face in our main event. And
all of their faces.
This was all fine. All of this was fine to good. But it all boils down to this. Once you've seen enough of these, you become inured to it. Like it's just it boils down to watching a bunch of kids do their oral presentation. What I did on my summer vacation, but instead of that, it's like why I will be the one to win at Stand and Deliver. It just feels like they said some stuff artfully to each other, and it just comes down to none of this makes me want to watch the match more or less. It's just a thing that you do because you have to do it going into the big show, to the large event, not to the Paul White. Don't go into the Paul White. Go into the large event. Go into the premium live large event. That's the PLL.
The premium large event.
There you go. That's that's just a big show with extra bacon. That's the premium. So I think this was all great. Like, and I it ends with Javon doing a big double jumpy cutter to both guys, standing up, holding the belt. Wrestling Math says he's not winning, but we already knew that. So this was fine and good. I thought each guy had some good moments and made some good points, and I liked that Trick Williams is like, I'm not gonna lie, you have been glued to a title for as long as you have been here, but that one is mine and I'm taking it back. Like that makes sense. But again, it all boils down to, I believe that I shall be the one to win at insert name of pay-per-view. And it never feels like no new ground is being broken. And so it just feels like time could have been spent doing other things. And that's always what I feel like.
So when we talk about things that are duplicated on the main roster to here, the yappity yap of a three-way is something that we have seen so much on the main roster. I think that watered this down a little bit.
Yeah.
But I agree with you that all three of them made really good points. And I felt like there was a little extra little brothering that I liked with what they did with Javon. Like he's so damn likable, but there is kind of this idea that I can buy into that maybe he's a little too big for his britches when it comes to facing Obafemi. Like that really got driven home tonight in a different way that I appreciated. I also liked them coming back at Trick and being like, you're a great talker, but you're talking about the same thing over and over and over again, because that's the way he's been booked, unfortunately. But today, like Trick has felt very heelish. Today he almost felt like tweener leaning heel, which feels like a comfortable spot for him, and I really liked that. And then Obafemi's just the best. He's just the ruler. He doesn't have I liked when Javon said, you think this whole promotion revolves around you, and he was like, yeah, duh, because I have this. Like that was, he's so good with those things.
I'm the world champion, so yes I do. Thank you.
It does revolve around me.
Yeah.
I do agree that this particular format of building to things is tired. I am reminded of a thing Samoa Joe recently said in an interview that is the most Samoa Joe thing you could ever hear. He said, if you do too many in-ring segments, because he does not have a lot of them. Samoa Joe does not have a lot of in-ring face-to-faces. And he was like, because at some point, if you're not throwing hands, you kind of just look like a little bitch. And and I like that point of view on things. I feel like it definitely has a time and a place, and I feel like in developmental, you better be doing things like this. But because the women's three-way build has been this Punk, Cena, or Punk, Reigns, and Rollins has been like this. Like we've just seen so much talking that it loses its luster a little bit as a format. But I agree with you that the execution from all three of them was very, very good. Javon is so perfect. Like just the rookie that you want to root for. But I love Obafemi saying, I know something about great rookie years, actually, too. So it's everybody has played their role suitably to this point, for sure.
The other thing I love about Oba is that he recognizes that there's the woo call and response. And so he is now altering his cadence to get that in there.
Yes.
Like, you are now a broken record. Woo. And you say the same thing. Woo, over, ooh, and over again. Ooh. Like he knows that that's coming, so he's playing to it. Like not getting rattled by it.
Keeps it from being a what chant. Like he's in control of it.
I say things, they say things. You are whatting me because like you are doing this.
I asked for it. Yeah.
This is what you do to me. This is what you do for me. And so I will allow it by speaking in this cadence. Yeah. Great stuff.
The preempting of it's really, really good. Really, really, really good.
I'm honestly I think more than any other match this weekend, I am looking forward to that match. I really am, because I really want to see how that gets laid out. I think that I'm such a huge Obafemi guy, and also I still think there's a chance they do my Javon Evans as finally the dude who beats him, and this is the first time that we would get started with that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like if there's something there. So I want to see how it works.
I did like him saying everybody says when, not if, you're going to main event someday, and mentioning the draft. I fully think Obafemi's retaining, but I like that he planted that seed of doubt a little bit as well. I'm trying to think if there's something I'm more excited for this weekend, and this is definitely just from a recall perspective. I don't know if the in-ring of the women's triple threat definitely intrigues me, but like as far as builds and wanting to see this, they all bring such different energies to the mic, to the ring, completely different types of wrestlers. Like this is definitely like a top 3 for me, if not the top 1. Like very, very much looking forward to this.
Color puns.
Color puns. In honor of Chelsea Green.
Chris Pereira says Blue Meanie. And
Very
he also
nice.
says King Kong Burgundy. Jambeard says Red Velvet, Amazing Red, Blue Thunderbomb, Golden Jets and Golden Lovers, Bam Bam Beigelo, Technicolor Team 2000. Back with Chris Pereira, Ivory Nile is very good as well.
Very well done.
I like that. We got Top of the Valley saying Blue Hudson and Techno Teal 2000. Let's see here. Then we get like Tan Bigelow. Tan Bigelow. Tan Bigelow. There we go. Perry Saturn becomes Perry Winkle Saturn.
Very
again.
good.
Thank you, Chris Pereira. And then insert clever Nixon Newell pun says Nixon New Yellow Sunshine. Then let's see here. Another one for you. Black Saber Jr., Crayola Wyatt, and Dusty Rose.
Can I just tell you how much I'm clinging to ZSJ right now? Not even like more than I normally do, with Eddie Kingston big out, Kevin Owens big out. I'm hurting, man. My guys are unavailable.
I think you're the one who started this one. Beige.
I didn't start that one because it made me laugh so hard. Because the visual of beige and Paige is excellent. Excellent.
If she was beige, she'd have to get a tan back when she was Paige.
It's true, yeah. She was.
Chris Pereira says In to Go Home Show.
I love that one.
Let's see here. Chris Pereira says Earthquake, aka John Magenta. Not John Tenta, John Magenta.
Very nice.
Jam Beard says Gray Uso, not Jay Uso, Gray Uso and Magenta Bane. Lieutenant photo. Roy G. Biv Morgan.
That's really good.
Man, that takes me back. Roy
That's
G.
really,
Biv.
really good.
Do they still teach Roy G. Biv in school? I don't know.
They should.
So good. Okay. Jam Beard says Madison Purple Rain coming from Jam Beard. It's coming from a sock, but Jam Beard paid for it. So I love that when our people do that.
It's the best.
Lieutenant Photo says Crayola Mysterio. Crayola Mysterio.
Crayola Mysterio.
R. Harris says Red Bull Pain.
Oh, got it. Very good.
Meet Norma says Magenta El Cerro Yellow Mustard. And Thunder Rose Gold.
Thunder Rose Gold. I love it.
Rafael Garcia says Teal Hail. And Scorpio Sky Blue, which would be a mixed
Very
tag.
good.
If they ever did the mixed match challenge in AEW, please don't do that. But if you ever did, that would be good. Lieutenant Photo says Ombre Phoenix.
Ombre Phoenix is really
Ombre
good.
Phoenix. Jember says the Redeemer Mauve. Not Miro, but Mauve. Don't hear a lot about Mauve.
You don't hear enough about Mauve these days.
Lieutenant Photo says Boom Boom Cobalt Cabana. Electric Mayhem says the indie tag team Violets is forever.
Oh, that's so good.
It says Big Mauve Stud, Eggshell Adam Beige, Color Wheelbarrow Suplex, Opal Femi, Daddy Magic Markers, Tannhausen, Roman Rainbow, and Raspberry Monet.
Tannhausen really, really, really got me.
This is good too. DNC Digital says Rick the Model Propel. And Olive Green Jean Okerlund.
Very nice.
Let's see here. Theater Mayhem says Seth Fusion Rollins. Powder Blue Hobbs.
Very nice. Very well done.
I think is that all of the. This is now we have 10 jukeboxes, unless you've got some humper chats in there.
Well, I do have one from ND Cyclo.
Okay.
Who we talked to last night, who we love. Who says, do you guys know how to clock it? Take your thumb and pointer finger, quickly tap the tip of the fingers repeatedly. Now you're clocking it. Or clocking that T. An example, Alex clocked that T when he said Triple H can't see color chat puns. I know Cresta does that all the time, so I figured as much because she is. If anybody clocks T, it's Cresta Star.
Okay, Jim Beard wants Paul Popolowski to sing "Bad Feeling" by Jaguar Twin. Okay, I guess I will do that. I don't know much about that. I've never heard of that. Hold on. Here we go. I got a bad feeling about you. When the moon hits the sky, I'm a little unwell because the truth is a lie. Nobody can tell. Every kid on the block talks and riddles and prose till we dance till we drop. They say everything's perfect here and the sun is shining. Hey, everything's perfect here. There's nobody crying. Oompa loompa doompity doo, I got a bad feeling about you. Oompa loompa, I don't know, dude. I got a bad feeling about bad feeling. I got a bad feeling about you. Bad feeling. I got a bad feeling about you. What? Do you want to do one of yours? Because you have some.
I would be glad to.
Okay, do you pick one of the ones you want to do? You have a few up here. Do you want to do?
I'm gonna do True Colors.
Okay.
Because I see your true colors shining through.
Right.
You
who requested that?
Who did request that, Graham?
Did
I unstart already? I'm sorry, I unstarted already.
I didn't start it, so I don't know who.
Now you're seeing my true colors, and they're not very bright. You with sad eyes, don't be discouraged. Oh, I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all. The darkness inside of you can make you feel so small. Show me a smile, then don't be unhappy. Can't remember when I last saw you laughing. This world makes you crazy, and you've taken up all you can bear. Just call me up, because I will be there, and I literally see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors. That's literally why I love you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Good. Okay.
I'm sorry to whoever that was. He unstarted it.
I think it was Tom. I don't know. Jambeard wants Fraxium to sing "Paint the Town Red" by Doja Cat.
I also want this very badly.
Walk on boy, walk on boy, walk on boy, walk on boy. Yeah, bitch. I say what I said. I'd rather be famous instead. Walk on boy. I let that all get to my head. I don't care. I paint the town red. Walk on boy. Bitch. I say what I said. I'd rather be famous instead. I'll let all that get to my head. I don't care. I paint the town red. She a devil, she a bad little bitch, she a rebel. She put her foot to the pedal until a whole lot for me to settle. She a devil, she a bad little bitch, she a rebel. Put her little foot to the pedal, it'll take a whole lot for me to settle. Yeah, share my separate is all your misery. I put good dick in all my kidneys. Them marginal soul, come with no jealousy. My littleness don't come with no remedy. You see before that Hennessy, they just walk all over there. You walk on by, you come dick no without penalty. Bitch, I'm in your shit if you sing for me. Thank you. And Bob's your uncle.
Not the Fraxium, bitch. It was so punctuated.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I know
let's
Sean's
see.
such a huge Doja fan. I wish we had
Yeah,
seen that when he was here.
Jambeard says wants
This
William
is part
Regal
of the
to
show.
sing "Paint It Black" by the Rolling Stones.
Well done.
I see a red door, and I want it painted black, sunshine. No colors anymore. I want them to turn black. I see the girls walk by, dressed in their summer clothes. I have to turn my head until my darkness goes. I see a line of cars, and they're all painted black, with flowers and my love, both never to come back. I've seen people turn their heads and quickly look away, like a newborn baby. It just happens every day. I look inside myself and see my heart is black. I see my red door. I must have it painted black. War games. Okay. Okay. There was another Fraxium duet. All I Ask of You from Phantom of the Opera.
What is our show?
Okay, there we go. Okay. Go.
Who's Christine?
I honestly have I've never heard this song before. I don't know the musical whatsoever. I know of it, but I've never seen it or heard it or anything. I don't.
Uncultured swine.
No more talk of darkness. Forget these wide-eyed fears. I'm here. Nothing can harm you. My words will warm and calm you. Let me be your. I realize now that the guy who is wearing the mask should be Phantom, right?
Yeah, you have to redo that. Sorry. Start over. Can we cut?
Cut. Hold on. Cut. Let's go back.
Cut. Can we go back? Strike it.
No talk of darkness. Forget these wide-eyed fears. I'm here. Nothing can harm you. My words will warm and calm you. Let me be your freedom. Let daylight do with this. I'm here with you, beside you, to guard you, and to guide you. This is the Christine part, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Honestly,
Say you'll share.
Say you'll love me every waking moment. Turn my head with talk of summertime. Say you'll need me with now and always. Promise me that all you say is true. That's all I ask of you. Your fears are far behind you. All I want is freedom, a world with no more night, and you always beside me to hold me and to hide me. And Bob's your uncle. Thank you.
As they say in Phantom, famously.
As they say in Phantom, the famous thing from Phantom is, and Bob's your uncle. Okay, do you want to do your next Nya girl thing?
Oh, you said no, no, no. I said no, no, no. You say take me home. I say Dom Perignon. You say no, no, no. I said no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Hasta la vida, loca, 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 loca. Te encanta la música. Te toca, toca, toca. Hasta la vida, loca, loca, loca. Te encanta la música. Te toca, toca, toca. Oh, I want to say rain on me forever. Rivers of champagne celebrate together. Oh, I want to say rain on me forever. Rivers of champagne celebrate together. Hasta la vida, loca, 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 loca. Te encanta la música. Te toca, toca, toca. Hasta la vida, loca, loca, loca. Te encanta la música. Te toca, toca, toca. Toca, toca, toca. Yeah. Or should I say, sí. Thank you so much. Do you know how hard it is to do that voice and read another language and be dyslexic?
It must be very difficult, but you got to figure out what to do it an intrusive N before the C. C. I don't know how to quite do that, but you got to get it in there. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Meet Norma says, Delinder sings Purple Rain. Did she date Prince? Hold on. Are you kidding? Raspberry Beret about me.
Never
about
knew
me.
that about you.
He wrote Raspberry Beret about me. Also,
Get
sexy motherfucker.
out.
Y'all
Well,
also wrote
that
sexy
one I knew.
motherfucker about me. Anyway, here
That
we
one
go.
I actually knew about.
I never meant to cause you any sorrow. I never meant to cause you any pain. I only wanted to one time to see you laughing. I only wanted to see you laughing in the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain, purple rain, purple rain, purple rain, purple rain. I only want to see you bathing in the purple rain. He did. That was not the only thing he saw me bathing in. I'll tell you that much.
You're so bad.
Champagne. He would draw a bath for me with hot champagne. He was a weirdo, but I loved him. I never wanted to be a weekend lover. I only wanted to be some kind of friend. Baby, I could never steal you from another. It's such a shame our friendship had to end. Purple rain, purple rain, purple rain, purple rain, purple rain. It's mostly the rain is purple.
Yes,
Mostly.
of course.
Yes, thank you. Again, people tuning in for the first time to this show. What must they be thinking?
We don't know either, but we know.
We don't know.
Knows.
Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. It's me. I'm here. Sorry, it took me a while to get here. Electric Mayhem want Dusty to sing the theme song, "The Perfect Strangers." So hold on now. Let me just do a quick little Google search. Perfect Strangers theme song lyrics. Here we go. Now, come on. I don't want a video of it. I want to see the lyrics. The lyrics on demand. Here we go.
Standing tall.
I know the song. I want to make sure I don't make no mistakes. Okay? Thank you.
Aggressive, Dusty.
Listen. Sometimes the world looks perfect, baby. Nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling like you need some kind of change. No matter what the odds are this time, nothing's gonna stand in my way. The flame in my heart, like a long lost friend, gives every dark street a light at the end. Standing tall on the wings of my dream. Rise and fall on the wings of my dream. The rain and thunder, baby. The wind and haze are bound for better days, if you will. It's my life. It's my dream. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Harmonica solo. But a little bee baba do down to the pound down the bone.
I knew you were going to hit the "if you will." I knew it. I knew where it was going to be.
I'm sorry I'm so predictable.
No, I loved it. I felt like it was a synergy moment.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah.
Well, there was one on one, but I need to do a duet with somebody.
A duet?
So, hold on. I got to look up these lyrics. Okay, hold on. All right, here we go. So, yes.
I love that you have to do duets with yourself.
I don't know what you're talking about. I am the ghost of Dusty Rhodes.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
There is a man from England with very colorful hair who will be breaking into the broadcast and doing his part of the duet. Keep it kayfabe, bro. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby, baby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Take it, Dusty. Someday, sorry, that was... Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, baby. I don't know what that was. Where troubles melt like lemon drops way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Blues fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't I? Thank you.
Man, Dusty Rhodes does a great Ricky Rainbow impression, man. That was wild. This is what it's all about right there.
One more song, and it's me this time. Rafael Garcia says, Ricky Rainbow sings, "It's not easy being green."
It's not.
That Kermit the Frog, good fella. He's a nice man.
Great guy.
Well, frog.
Great
Really.
guy. Yeah.
Here we are. I Googled it. There we go. It's not that easy being green, having to spend each day the colour of the leaves, when I think it could be nicer being red or yellow or gold or something much more colourful like that. It's not easy being green, seems you blend in with so many other ordinary things, and people tend to pass you over because you're not standing out like flashy sparkles in the water or stars in the sky. But green's the colour of spring, and green can be cool and friendly like, and green can be big like an ocean, or important like a mountain, or tall like a tree, or annoying like the learning tree. When green is all there is to be, it could make you wonder why, but why wonder? Why wonder? I'm green, and it'll do fine. It's beautiful, and I think it's what I want to be. Thank you!
Cheaper than therapy, $5.99 a month. This is on the free tier. This is free. This is free for you guys. Where can you get such great wrestling analysis and also guest stars like Ricky Rainbow?
You can't get anywhere else. Also, I would like to point out that our numbers are at an all-time high of people watching the show right now. They tune in for this.
I'm going to assume they're watching live and did not start at the beginning.
No, they're watching
They're
right now. They are
this.
now. This is
How
where
is
they
this
are.
free? It's our gift to you. It's our gift to you.
All right. Well, I think that's it. There's no more. All right. We did all these. We're good. We're all right. Okay. Well, then, keep cool, gabagoos. See you for Stand
And Deliver.
Oh, those pretty deadly boys. They're very good. They're very pretty. Not quite as deadly as they may seem, but
No.
they are very
They
pretty.
deserve their own musical, though. I will say that.
Yeah. Keep cool, gabagoos.
Toodles. Yeah.